Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Friday roundup of the Relief Valve podcast. We're going to be rounding up everything that we can from the midterms and starting the audio show. I started it with a clip from President Trump talking about how he felt with how the midterms would go. And let's hear a little bit of a clip of that right now.
You've endorsed more than 330 candidates this election cycle. Tonight, win or lose, the results for Republicans, how much of that will be because of Donald Trump?
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all, okay? But it'll probably be just the opposite. When they win, I think they're going to do very well. I'll probably be given very little credit, even though in many cases I told people to run. And they ran, and they turned out to be very good candidates. You know, they turned out to be very good candidates.
They turned out to be very good. They were the best candidates. Most of them lost, but they were amazing candidates. So we're going to get into some of the midterm here, some of the backlash coming against Trump right now. And I'm a huge Trump fan. I've said that on the show before, but some of his action that he's taken in the lash out against DeSantis and other Republicans that were running has kind of rubbed me the wrong way here. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon, but one foot is dangling off at this point because I'm concerned about what Trump's doing. We're going to get into that a little bit more in the show. Thank you to everybody that followed us through the midterms and the new people that joined us as well. We got new listeners between the live streaming and listening to the audio podcast. Thanks for everybody that joined us. I'm glad I was able to do the midterm stream and kind of try to take the show to the next level. So thank you to everybody that joined us, and we're moving on. The show's getting bigger as time goes on, and I appreciate that. So we're going to go over some of the, because believe it or not, as you've probably heard, there are there's not a finalization to every run. All the ballots aren't in yet in some states, and we're 3 or 4 days removed at this point from the election, and it's ridiculous that it should take that long. If you go by the Florida model, they have everything counted an hour or two after their polls close. They're really efficient, and these other states are just a shit show. So we're going to go over some of the election results here, so you can see on the this is an updated Fox 2022 midterm election results. There's 3 Senate seats left in play. That's going to be Arizona, Georgia, and in Nevada, I believe. And Georgia's going to a runoff with Warnock and Walker. Nevada, we're still fighting over to find out if Masters is going to come across the finish line, and we're waiting on Arizona and Nevada. So, and 32 House seats left in play, but it's still projected at this point that the Republicans are going to take the House as it was originally thought. Just not to the big degree that everyone thought that it was going to be. Now, Joe Biden's taken a victory lap over this, and some of the Democrats are taking victory laps over this, and they're shitting on the Republicans' performance, and they're not necessarily wrong. And if you watch the midterm live stream, I was pretty drunk, and I'm coming off of a nicotine high at the end of it, and I didn't feel too strong about how the election came out for us, because it should have been the sweep. It should have been the red wave that we thought it was. Because the Democrats have just been destroying this country from multiple avenues, whether it's needles being jabbed in your arm, transitioning your kids, forced lockdowns, forced masks in school, forced inoculations for children. I mean, it goes on and on. And how anyone at that point, after all that's happened, can still go, oh, well, I'm going Democrat across the board in my election. It boggles my mind. I was talking with somebody at work, and I joked with him, and I said the Democrats' new slogan should be "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Because it doesn't seem to matter how much of a beating they take or how bad things get. They still want Democrat, and they still want more. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You go back to your kidnapper. You go back to your abuser. Don't leave me. Those scary Republicans, I have no idea what they're going to do. But I know you. You're the devil I know as opposed to the devil I don't. And that's the only thing I can think of as far as why these Democrats continue to support Republicans. Now, Republicans have come out and said that it was poor people that they ran. Ben Shapiro has said the same thing. Poor people they ran, and bad messaging, right? So because of the bad messaging, people went to Democrats by default. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's angry about, and he said he's angry about how everything turned out, but I don't agree that it was poor messaging by Republicans. You have to have a message. Let's say you don't have one. But you have to have a message when the other party is completely destroying the country. You go, well, listen, if you're not going to go with a good message here, I'm going to go with the asshole that's still burning the fucking place down. That explanation doesn't make any sense. That I would vote for the chair I'm currently sitting on over any Democratic representative right now, and the chair does not have any message to give you, other than I might be able to make you comfortable. You would still, if you were a logical human being, you would vote for anything but the destruction you're currently getting. So I don't agree with Ben Shapiro at all that's the way that it happened. And I know, who am I? He's got 1 million listeners. I've got 10. But I follow all this on a daily basis as he does. But I think I have more of a pulse of the people and what they're going through in my personal experiences, where his are skewed by the political portion of it. He goes by polls and analytics and not the heart and feeling of the people. And I think that that's important. When you looked at the demographics of everything that happened, I know it doesn't really show it here. It's showing, red states to blue states, red counties to blue counties. But even in a place like Pennsylvania, when they brought that up in, if you were watching another show, and they brought that up and they focused on all the either counties, districts, whatever, it was heavy city voting that got these people in office, that got these Democrats in office. And the cities are where all the left-wing shitbags are. It's where all the leeches are, all the people that are taking money to live, that are leeching off the system, leeching off the taxpayers. And the irony of it is, and again, people can't figure this out. This is why I talk about the voice of the people and the voice of the taxpayer and why it's so important. The Democrats give all your money away, all of our money away, to the criminals and the shitbags in your state that are making your life more difficult, that is hurting you, that is getting you pushed onto train tracks, the subway tracks in New York, getting you shot in Chicago, getting homeless people attacking you in California. The Democrats freely give your taxpayer money, our taxpayer money, to these people. And then they use it to incentivize them to vote for them. So our money is used against us to put people in place that also are against us and will continue to push policies that are against us when they are in office. And they've done all of this with our money. And the more people that wake up and realize it's not just going to the voting booth and saying, I like Democrats over Republicans. That's all I can say. Even though they're doing really awful, there's room for improvement. No. These people, and you can say, okay, all politicians are shitbags to one degree or another. You can't trust any of them. So again, go with the old adage, the devil you know over the devil you don't. But when you've got Republicans coming out with a new message, when you have a new age of Republicans that at least seem to be on the surface, listening to the American people and wanting to push the message that's coming from the American people, these assholes that we put in office, they are supposed to be, because all of us can't walk into the House of Representatives and the Senate and run the country. One, we don't all fit, and two, it turned into a gigantic fist fight while we're figuring it all out, right? That's why the states and districts have representatives, and those people are the voice of the people. When we talk, It should be coming out of that representative's mouth. It should be coming out of that senator's mouth. It should be coming out of that House representative's mouth. But instead, it's turned into the government's version of Hollywood. Once you get in there, you're a rock star, and, you know, your reaction to everybody else is, I'm not doing autographs, and please don't talk to me. And please don't come near my family. I'm very busy, and I'm a very important person. Every single one of these people should be kissing our ass, and not just at election time when they need our votes to get back in office. It should be year-round to continually show us they work for us. And that doesn't happen anymore. And that's one of the reasons I started the show. Not to be the same old political pundit like a Daily Wire, a Fox News, or a CNN or something else, where you say the same lines, you stay in the same lane, and you really don't branch out to get the voice and the frustration and the energy of the people. And that's what you need. People, I think, in my opinion, people are tired of sugarcoating this shit. I think people want to say what's on their mind, and they want to see it happen. They want to see someone kick down the proverbial door of the White House and walk into the press room and go, all right, this is what we're doing. These are the changes that are happening. These are the shitbags we're getting rid of. These are the criminals we're locking up. This is I'm putting agents out everywhere into every state and every community. We're making them all safe, and we're getting rid of the crazy fucking nut jobs and everyone off the streets. And just have everyone be like, whoa, well, what about this? And what my thoughts are, go fuck yourself. That's what my thoughts are on how you feel about the border or something else. I think people want that. Stop dancing around the political bush. And just fucking go right in and do what needs to be done. Yes, people on the other side are going to piss and moan, and that's not fair, and it's not equality, but this situation has to be cleaned up. People's safety has to need to be restored. You should not have to worry that you're waiting for the subway in New York. You're going to be pushed randomly by somebody onto subway tracks. You shouldn't have to worry that a homeless person is going to shit in a bag and then throw it at your windshield in California. And yes, I've seen a video of that happen. I've seen a business owner post that up. You shouldn't have to be have shootouts happening outside your house, or children in, I think it was Chicago, being shot while they were trick-or-treating. That's is fucking outrageous. Your children are murdered because you just tried to do a family event with them and you can't even do it. You know, and we say, well, hey, if you don't like what's happening in there, vote with your feet and get the fuck out of that state. Move out of New York, move out of California, move out of Pennsylvania. There's some people that can't do that. You know, I left Massachusetts for Connecticut. I would love to go farther. I would love to get the fuck out of the blue Northeast, because they're all idiots that keep voting for the same stupid shit. But I've got to stay within range of my job, and I've got to do it until I retire, because the transfer options are just not as simple as another place might offer you. So there's only so far I can go. So I can find the woods, I can be away from the cities, I can try and stay the fuck away from everybody and do my best to keep my family safe. And it seems like, knock on wood, that I've been able to do that. I've been fortunate enough to do that. A lot of people can't. They may like New York, but they hate what it's turned into. They may like California, but they hate what California's turned into. You got to protect those people. And then you vote for the Democrats that aren't doing that. Why? Because you're going to get handouts, because you're going to be able to maintain your current quality of life. And I'm not talking about the lower to middle class. I'm talking about the upper class that love how things are going. They go to their rich shitbag parties and all of their get-togethers and their fundraisers, and they say all the nice things, but they don't give a fuck about the people down there that are suffering. And they're making sure the vote's going their way for their people. And that the cities are voting that way and making sure it's going their way, so they can keep getting their handouts and their freebies and getting out of jail with no bail. And everybody else that's innocent people are getting fucked. I know some of the Democrats were saying, and some people on Twitter were saying too, you know, thank you very much to the Gen Z and millennial generation for really coming out and pushing this vote. And if that's the case, if these young people came out there, my message would be, wake up. I hope that you suffer the criminality that the innocent people of these cities are. I hope that you suffer the pain of what these innocent people are in these cities and these states. Because you voted thinking you're getting some progressive bullshit going that's never going to happen. And in the meantime, more people are going to suffer because you thought you were idealistic and you and your friends were patting each other on the backs and having reach-arounds in your dorm room. So you thought you made a great decision, and now more people are going to suffer because of your great decision. When I go to the ballot box, I don't just vote for my family. I vote for the things I don't want to happen, not just to me, but to other people. If I'm in New York, I'm going to vote because I don't want to be pushed on the train tracks. Neither do I want anybody else to be pushed on the train tracks. When you go to the ballot box, you should consider more things than just your personal selfishness. I'm not saying you can't consider that and vote that way for your family, and you and your family. But I'm saying you should think about the things that you don't want and that you also don't want other people to go through. I don't want my kids to be transitioned. I don't want them to be forced to be trans for some weird school policy where they're pushing it. I don't want other people's children to be forced into that too. I completely disagree with the entire premise. If you're going to force it on your children, and you're going to, no child decides that they're transgender. First of all, that's the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. No child goes, you know what? I don't feel male. They don't even have any real idea what that is. Just you were born with one or two gender. I'm probably going to get kicked up to YouTube for this, but you're born one or two, and you don't have enough information to form a cognizant information, and then the parents force this on the children. This is child abuse. That's what that is. But let's say we can't control that. It shouldn't, but it's still gonna happen. All right. The rest of us should not be forced to go along with that ideology. It should not be forced in our children's schools. We don't want that. I don't want that for my kids. And I'm going to get more involved in my state. Now, I'm a homeowner. I have a vested interest here. And I'm going to get more involved here. And we've got to find a better way to get the message out and fighting back against these leftist loons. Because, the original premise was, you know what, they're going to do this bullshit in school. And then when they get out of school and the real world kicks them in the ass, they're gonna get at least inch closer to being conservative, because life doesn't leave any wiggle room for the stupidity of being a leftist and your head's in the clouds 24/7 with stupid shit that's never going to work. But that's not really happening. Maybe at one point it did, but that's not really happening now. They're coming out of the schools. They're being welcomed into open arms with a larger industrialized corporate left-wing nutcase society. And they're brought into the fold and indoctrinated even further to that next level of adulthood. There's no releasing from one organization to the other where they have a chance to start actually forming something sane. That's not happening. So this has to be fought back against. A message has to be gotten out there to kind of rehabilitate some of these people. I mean, one, we need to take back the schools to at least the bare minimum. That you're just teaching education. That's it. You're not leaning one way or the other. I would be happy to accept a neutral approach to schooling, where you're just teaching history. You're just giving the facts, not your interpretation of the facts, not the 1912 project, whatever the fuck that thing was called, where there was like, they had their own alternative history to the founding of the United States. None of that bullshit. Just the facts. And whatever it is that we have to, and I'm glad parents have been fighting back against schools, fighting back against CRT, fighting back against inappropriate books and the transing of the kids. And, the left saying, oh, well, now books aren't allowed. No, books are allowed. You can't have books about pedophilia and promoting it and telling kids how to do this to their friends or how maybe a male stranger can do that to you. I mean, you can't put banning books in the same subject as that. They're not the same. You want to have a book about any other subject, go ahead and have it. And the people can vote for how they feel about that book with their wallet. But you can't have books about pedophilia and transitioning and crap like that to kids. I mean, some things are still illegal. If the left had their way, nothing would be illegal. But some things are still illegal. You can't be a pedophile. You can't have books about pedophiles. You can't have pictures of children. All of this shit's still illegal. That's not book banning when you do that. It's following the law. All right, so, I've gone on my rant here. So let's go over... So again, getting back to where we were. There's fucking voting still coming in, and it's ridiculous. But let's go through some of this here. All right, so we're going to get to the Nevada. We're in Senate races here right now. The Nevada Senate race, still not in. 90% reporting by the end of the fucking week. And voting was on Tuesday, okay? Adam Laxalt has got a very slim lead over Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada. So this is one of the Senate races we're waiting on to find out exactly how the Senate is going to break down for the Republicans. So Laxalt is barely leading here, 48.97% to a straight 48% for Masto. It looks like Laxalt could take it in Nevada. In Arizona, Kelly is still up over Blake Masters, and we don't 82% in. 51% with Kelly, 46% to Blake Masters. So it's not looking great for Blake Masters, but with 82% in, I mean, unless he has a big rush near the end of final votes, Masters may not take it. And then unfortunately, senatorial-wise, we lose Arizona. And again, shame on the people of Arizona for voting for the same old crap. And you're a border state, and you're getting runoff from the border, and you like what you're getting. You like how you're contributing to the United States. It's again, these voters have got to wake up. It's thank you, sir. May I have another? So basically, we need to be nuked, and then after we're nuked, you might get some voters go, it's voting blue was a bad idea. Now that hindsight's 2020. Like, wake up, assholes. Wisconsin, Ron Johnson won 50-50 to 49-50 over Mandela Barnes. In Pennsylvania, the big walking dummy John Fetterman won. Again, it was the cities that really came out and voted. It was all the dregs and the scum of society that came out, and it was the big dummies who voted for the big dummy, and that's how you got Fetterman in. So shame on those voters too. Oz was not a strong candidate. He was not great at all, and I probably, and it was still relatively close. It was 50-93 for Fetterman to Mehmet Oz's 46-65. If the Republicans had put a strong candidate in there, I feel like they could have beat the stroke victim. So now you have a guy that can't form coherent sentences, and he can't really function without his wife holding his hand. And now he's going to be in the Senate. And he's going to have his little fucking interpreting box or his big thing and his helper, and they're going to type everything. Do you want to vote for this? Good evening, everyone. I stand, and I stand. That's my vote. Like, other countries have got to be looking at us and just fucking LOLing, laughing their asses off for the idiots that we're putting in office. We've got a dementia-ridden moron as president, and now we've got a stroke victim idiot in the Senate. It's like, what is America now? The fucking clown show? In Ohio, J.D. Vance takes it. That was a big win for the Republican Party there. 53-28 to Tim Ryan's 46-72. In Colorado, everyone's on drugs, so they have no idea what's going on. Michael Bennett takes Joe O'Dea 54-85 to 42-35. And O'Dea was another one Trump was shitting on. And This doesn't make any sense to me. He was happy that O'Day lost because O'Day wasn't one of the Trump-backed candidates, I don't believe. So he was happy that he lost. So you're happy that a Democrat took an office that the Republicans needed. And Trump is supposed to be like, kind of de facto Republican leader. This is why I'm leaning here. This is not smart. His ego is getting in the way. And he's shitting on people. The stake of the country is at stake. And we can't afford to be shitting on people that did their best to run for office and they didn't make it, and then you shit on them after it's done. Like, Trump should be doing his best to help these people, putting money into their run, not, kind of disregarding them throughout it and then shitting on them after it's over. And he's been shitting on DeSantis too, and DeSantis is like a Republican powerhouse at this point. It's not smart. Hold on a second. Turn that down! Jesus fucking Christ. What a professional show we're having. How professional. I fucking love it to have kids when I'm trying to podcast. And of course I'm live, so what am I going to do about it? Nothing. I got to fucking yell at everybody in real time. So, in New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan takes New Hampshire 53-59 to Donald Bolduc's 44-43. And North Carolina, Ted Budd takes it 50-75 to Cherry Beasley's 47.11. So we took North Carolina. We lost New Hampshire. Took Florida solidly, 57.69% to Val Deming's 41.26%. So that was great. Washington State, another Democrat fucking state. Patty Murray taking it 56-33 to Tiffany Smiley's 43-67. So now we're going to come to the House races here. So a number's finally coming in for Alaska. I said in the live stream that I thought maybe the polar bears had eaten everyone because we weren't even getting any initial numbers, but apparently some people survived. So in Alaska's 1st district, we've got Mary Peltola, 47.26% to Sarah Palin's 26.57%. No one likes Sarah Palin there. I don't get it. And Nick Bajish, it's the Bajish. It's Nick Bajish here. I'm Italian, I'm in Alaska. What the fuck am I doing here? He's at 24.19%, not far behind Palin. In New York, 17th, Michael Lawler. This was a huge win. These are things that still give me hope. I was down at the end of the midterms, but after I had a chance to reevaluate a little bit, I was up with that and happier. New York 17th, Michael Lawler, 50-50 again, 50.50 to Sean Patrick Maloney's the head of the CCC, Congressional fucking Democrat shitbags. Sean Patrick Maloney, 49.50%, and he took it. He took a major district and a major heavy hitter for the Democrats and took him out of office. That was a big deal. So you had Lee Zeldin running, and they think that the strong run by Lee Zeldin helped to propel other Republicans in New York to take back some parts of New York. So it was a big deal. In Washington's 8th, you had Kim Schreier, the Democrat, 52.14 to beating Matt Larkin, 47.86%. In Montana, Ryan Zink taking it 49.73% to Monica Traino's 46.42. In Nevada, Dina Titus, 50.71. Still counting that in with 91% in for this Nevada one to Mark Robertson's 46.88%. And it's just shame on them for taking, almost a week to count everything. In Nevada's 3rd district, Susie Lee is taking it over April Becker, 51.02, 48.98. And again, with Nevada, the way it's going, it's these Democrats, again, that are, thank you, sir, may I have another. If anyone can come on the comment section, because we're streaming live on YouTube. We are on the audio portion. We're on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio. So you can email the show at reliefvalvepodcast@AOL.com. You can comment on YouTube and just let me know what is it? that these Democrats in some of these areas that I'm laying out to you right now. Why is it? Thank you, sir. What may I have another? What is it they love about the Democratic rule that they're getting over there, with their state being the way it is, with the border being overrun, and the state of the country in general, and the grocery prices when you go into the grocery store? And yes, it's absolutely the corrupt Biden regime's fault, and their actions and bad policies. It is. I don't know if some of these people are thinking, well, no, people say that, but it isn't. No, it is. So please tell me. Go in the comment section, like the show, please, and tell me why these Democrats are such gluttons for punishment. I can't figure it out. So in Pennsylvania, 7th, Susan Wild, 50.80% to Lisa Scheller's 49.20%. Pennsylvania's 8th, Matt Cartwright, 51.17% to Jim Bognitz, 48 to 83%, with 98% reporting. Pennsylvania 7th has 97% reporting, so that's nearly done. Pennsylvania 7th is really close, and there's still a small chance for that to switch. And in even in Pennsylvania's 8th, to a little bit of a less degree, there's a chance for that to change as well. So in Indiana's 1st, Frank J. Mervyn, 52.83% to Jennifer Ruth Green's 47 to 17%, with 97% of that still coming in as well. So Virginia's 2nd, Jen Keegan's 52.3% to Elaine Luria's 47.97%, with 99% in currently. So it looks like Jen Kiggins is taking that. They've pretty much called it at this point, and they're reporting. Everything reporting in is pretty much done. Virginia 7th, Abigail Spanberger is pretty much taking it over Yesley Vega, 52% to 47%, with 99% reporting in. Looks like Spanberger will take that. In Virginia's 10th, Jennifer Wexton, 52.93% to Hung Kao's 47.7% with 99 in. It looks like Wexton takes that. Ohio's 1st, Greg Landsman, 52% to Steve Cabot's 47.54% with 99 reporting, and it looks like they're going to take it in Ohio too. Ohio's 9th anyway. Ohio's 1st, excuse me. Ohio's 9th, Marcy Kaptur, 56.55% to J.R. Majewski's 43.45%. New Hampshire's 1st. You all right? I'm live streaming. Okay. So New Hampshire's 1st, 54% to Caroline Levitt's. And they were thinking about Levitt taking this in New Hampshire, 45.96%, or at least having a standing chance. That's 99% reporting in. Democrats are going to take that as well. Texas's 28th, Henry Cooler, 56.62% to Cassie Garcia's 43.38% with 99% in reporting. It looks like the Democrats are going to take that as well. Texas is, which is crazy that there are parts of Texas that are blue. And this has got to be transplants from California, which is, again, the glutton for punishment syndrome here. You left California for a reason. You left California because you weren't happy. Or Arizona, or wherever it was that you came from to Texas, right? You brought your stupid fucking politics with you and still voted the same way, so that you can turn the new state and your fresh start into a garbage state like the one you just left. Again, tell me how that makes any sense. I've been a conservative in Massachusetts. I brought conservatism with me to Connecticut, and I want to try to help to make it more conservative, because people are dealing with the bad policy and bad decision making of the Democrats in these states. I'm trying to do the right thing and bring good things in. I'm leaving one for the other with purposes in mind. Whereas these transplants from other states that are going to red states are bringing all of the bad shit with them and then continuing to promulgate it wherever they are. That makes no sense to me. In Colorado's 3rd, and this has turned into a barn burner here, really close. Everyone has been, the Democrats have been making inappropriate jokes by Lauren Boebert, saying if you don't, win this, you can go on OnlyFans. They got shit on that because it's really unprofessional and inappropriate. And they thought, what a joke. Boebert doesn't have a chance in Colorado. She's neck and neck with Adam Frisch in Colorado's third. 50% to Boebert, to Adam Frisch's 49.83% with 99 of the voting in. It looks like at this point, I don't want to call it like 99% too early, right? But Boebert could take this. And that's amazing because they all told her you can't do it. It's not going to happen. So in left-wing loony Colorado, Lauren Boebert could take it. So congratulations to the people in Colorado's 3rd district that you are tired of the abuse and your brains are in fact functioning. Florida's 27th, Maria Elvira Salazar, 57.30% to Annette Tadeo's 42.70%. In Maine's 2nd, Jared Golden is, they're still counting this, 98.66% in. Jared Golden is 48.25% to Bruce Poliquin's 44.89%. That's neck and neck as well, but off by 4 points. If you mean neck and neck, Matt, it's off by 4 points. But if that's what you want for neck and neck, fair enough. But it looks like Jared Golden is going to take that. In Iowa, Zach Nunn is 50.35% to Cindy Axe, 49.65% with 99% in. Zach takes that. Kansas City's 3rd. Get an update from Fox News here. Let's see what they have to say. Okay. Thought maybe there was a vote update. So Kansas City, Sharice Davids, 54% to Amanda Acton's 43% with 99% in. So that's pretty much done as well. Michigan 7th, Eliza Slotkin, 51 to Tom Barrett's 46. That's pretty much done. Michigan 8th. Because they haven't had enough of having their buildings burned down, being dragged out of cars and kicked in the head, raped, robbed, and etc. Michigan would like more. Please, sir, may I have? Thank you, sir, may I have another? Michigan 8th's Daniel Kildee is 53 to Paul Jung's 42. Minnesota, Angie Craig, 50% to Tyler Kistner's 45. New Mexico, Gabriel Vasquez to Yvette Harrell, 50 to 49. With 98%, and that's pretty much over. California's 22nd. This is another interesting one here. David Villado, 54% to Rudy Salas's 45%, with 42% reporting right now. So again, taking them forever and a day to count everything, but a Republican ahead in California. That's saying something. California 47th District, Katie Porter, 50% over Scott Bowes, 49% with 60% in. That's still neck and neck there as well. The Republicans still having a chance. California's 49th, Mike Levin, 51% to Brian Marriott's 48%, and with 59% of the votes in. So still neck and neck races there. We'll go over to the governor races here. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake neck and neck. This is ridiculous. Again, shame on you to some of these people in Arizona. Katie Hobbs basically did nothing. No debates. She kind of hid in her basement like Dementia Joe did. And she's somehow been able to have a successful campaign when Kari Lake has been out there addressing the issues, talking to the taxpayers, putting a clear message out there, and we're neck and neck. That should not be happening at all. Katie Hobbs currently 50% to Kari Lake's 49, with 82% of the voting in. So I'm hoping that when this comes down to it, Kari Lake is watching this closely because she doesn't trust the voting, and neither do I. I know Shapiro's got a problem with that. The election deniers, they're the ones that hurt us. Well, not when there's truth to what they're saying. So anybody that had a problem with that, you're an idiot. Yes, there were election issues in the last election. And yes, there are issues that need to be resolved, not only with the voting process, but with how the press is allowed to suppress information and not put relevant information for the voters out there. Like Hunter Biden's laptop, which has been proven 100% factual at this point. Not Russian disinformation, 100% factual. That he's been taking kickbacks from other businesses in other countries and giving them to not only for himself, but kicking them back to Joe Biden, his father. All of which is absolutely illegal. It means we have a president that can be swayed by other countries. Like they claim that could happen to Trump, except it's actually happening with Biden. In Nevada, you've got Joe Lombardo, 49%, to Steve Sisolak's 46%, with 90% of the voting in. So let's hope that Joe there can win in that part in Nevada. In Michigan, the evil witch of the West, Gretchen Whitmer, won over Tudor Dixon. I thought Tudor Dixon was a great woman who had a great message. And again, the people of Michigan are, thank you, sir, may I have another. So there's no sympathy, as far as I'm concerned, for any of you. I know there's innocent people there. I know you didn't want Gretchen Whitmer, and now you're stuck dealing with this evil trash woman and her shit husband. But the rest of Michigan, you reap what you sow. You in Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, California, you get what you get. As one of my old babysitters used to say to the kids, you get what you get, and you don't get upset, right? You wanted this. If you get pushed on the train tracks, robbed, raped, shot, just remember when you checked off blue at the ballot box. Remember that right at the end of that event. And remember, you're a fucking idiot. Georgia, Brian Kemp takes it handily over Stacey Abrams, the once and future governor of Georgia, president of the United Federation of Planets, according to the new Star Trek. So Stacey Abrams is a two-time loser, and I have enjoyed very thoroughly going onto her Twitter page and reminding her that she's a two-time loser. So 53% to Stacey Abrams, 45%. In New York, again, the people of New York, gluttons for punishment. Thank you, sir. May I have another? They vote Katie Hochul in over Lee Zeldin, 52% to 47%. But he helped get, it seemed like he helped, the other Republicans were kind of able to ride his coattails and get in. So a good run by Lee Zeldin and a good run by the others as well to get in. In Florida, Ron DeSantis destroyed Charlie Crist, 59% to 39%. I mean, Crist was just destroyed. Oregon, Tina Kotek at 47% to Christina Drazen's 43%. 85% of the votes are in, so that's still relatively close. Texas's Greg Abbott, 54% over Beto's, bro. Beto, me being my fellow Beto dudes, we all rode our skateboards to the polls and we got fucked, man. We thought we were going to a concert, but we ended up voting for Beto. I have no idea. I was so high. So Beto went to Texas and decided he wanted to have a blue agenda and take away everyone's guns in fucking Texas. This idiot should be claimed legally brain dead. So 54% to Beto O'Rourke's 43%. In South Dakota, Kristi Noem hardily won, 61% to Jamie Smith's 35%. I like Kristi Noem. She's a good leader. In New Hampshire, Chris Sununu is old Sununu, 57% to Tom Sherman's 41%. He takes it as governor of New Hampshire. In Arkansas, good old Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, 63% to Chris Jones, 35%. She kicked the crap out of him. In Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro takes it 56% to Douglas Mastriano's 41%. Again, Shapiro is shitting on Mastriano because he was an election denier. I don't know why that's a problem. I don't know why Shapiro has problems with the truth. It's starting to bother me, the way he shits on the January 6 people. That was a peaceful protest, but what, you were good with BLM? And someone who says he has problems with the election, there's a lot of us that have problems with the election, and we don't agree with your assessment of it. Everyone has concerns. We still have concerns. And because of a bunch of shit left-wing judges voted in favor of the Democrats does not mean that the entire process was giving a fair look at when we were going through it. But Shapiro takes it over Mastriano, who was a serviceman who served this country. And instead they chose a Democrat left-wing shit politician. So again, the Democrats saying, thank you, sir, may I have another. Ohio, Mike DeWine, 62% to Non Whaley's 37%. Mike DeWine takes it in Ohio. That's very good, kind of flipping Ohio red from purple. Maine, Janet Mills, 55% to Paul LePage's 42%. In Kansas, Laura Kelly, 49% Democrat to Derek Schmidt, 47%, and the Democrat takes it. In Alaska, since the polar bears have finally moved off and everybody can get back to it, Mike Dunleavy is 52% to Les Gara's 23%, with 80% of the vote in. So it looks like, at least for a Republican governor, Mike Dunleavy's taken it. So there's the update for the midterms. I'll leave that there for now. And let's see how much we're into the show. 46 minutes. I've got to run to work. So happy Veterans Day, everyone, and to all of our servicemen and women, not the trannies, just the servicemen and women. Thank you for your service. You know, this and Memorial Day are all of your days to remember your sacrifices and to thank you for still being in there and doing your part. And if you haven't turned into woke left idiots, we all really appreciate that. I know our upper leadership has lost their goddamn minds, but if you can all, you know, keep the power and keep the faith, we really appreciate that. So let's see here if I can set some of that up. All right, so I'm just going to try and do a couple more quick ones here, and I'm going to have to start getting ready soon. But so talking about the midterms here, this was some of Beto's concession speech, and I just want you to be able to hear some of this, and especially the fucking crowd. I've never heard a crowd so fired up, and other pundits have been talking about this too. Another crowd that's so fired up to be losers and getting the concession speech. I mean, I swear to God, they have no idea where they are. That they think that there's going to be like a concert starting right after Beto gets off the stage. But here's some of that.
Thank you all. Thank you, every single one of you, for being with us right now. It means the world to us.
Woo! When's the concert start, bro? What are we doing here?
I love you. I love you.
We love you, Beto!
I love you.
Where's the buffet?
Listen, let me. This may be one of the last times I get to talk in front of you all and.
Oh, it's the last time.
Talk about this amazing thing that we have all done together over the course of the last year. Some of you over the course of the last 5 years. Some of you who have the misfortune of being married to me over the last 15 years.
That's for damn sure.
But
your poor wife. And his wife looks like Beto, but she has a wig on.
By thanking each and
It might be Beto's twin, and he's just dating him. And he's in a wig and a dress, and she looks like almost just like Beto.
And I cannot thank you enough. And I want to begin by thanking my family. My mom, Melissa, I hope is still here. Where are you, Mom?
So I don't want to hear his entire fucking bullshit.
And all the challenges that all the small dollar donors, all the big dollar donors, the
woo! Beto! Woo! So I know the speaker that I used was dead. I can't really project it out there. The speakers on the computer are not that great, but just the crowd, woo! Yeah, we love Beto, man. We lost, but it's all fucking good because we had a really good time and we got high, man, and we rode our skateboards and we told other people, hey, man, you're not cool, and we just want to be cool, man. And I what the fuck? I've never heard a bigger group of fucking idiots all cheering at the top of their lungs because they lost. We lost. What are we gonna do now? I don't know, man. We're gonna go get a slushie and we're gonna talk it all over. Fucking idiots. But just like their leader, Beto, bro. I'm Beto O'Rourke, and I just want to say it's awesome. And this is my man, husband, wife over here, my twin in a wig. Beto, my wife Beto. I mean, not Beto. You fucking moron. So, very happy that he lost, and, you know, you thought you were going to win in Texas? Like, is he high like the rest of his voters and the idiots in that audience are? Unbelievable. So, we talked about Lauren Boebert surging ahead in the Colorado race. So, Lauren, this is Fox News reporting, Lauren Boebert inches ahead of the Democratic candidate Adam Frisch with 1,100 votes. Colorado Republican and former President Trump ally, Representative Lauren Boebert, has inched ahead of her Democratic challenger as votes continue to be tallied Friday. In an unexpectedly tight race when the freshman lawmaker is vying to secure a second term, Boebert has jumped forward in the count for the first time since tallying began earlier this week. As of Thursday morning, Boebert was narrowly behind Democratic candidate Adam Frisch with just over 60 votes, holding off her margin of victory. The controversial lawmaker has now moved ahead in the ballot and count by over 1,100 votes, a difference which represents 0.34 of Colorado's 3rd Congressional District voters, with 1% of the votes yet to be tallied. Though the jump may be enough to hold off Frisch, Boebert supporters appear to have flagged since her election in 2020, when she beat her Democratic challenger by more than 26,500 votes. The Coloradian was 33 years old when she defeated then-Rep. Scott Tipton, a 5-term incumbent candidate in the 2020 GOP primary. Boebert struggled to hold on to her support this election cycle is indicative of the 2022 midterms when Republicans failed to achieve the anticipated red wave. Frisch has not given up hope and took to Twitter Thursday to say that thousands of ballots have yet to be counted. Every vote matters in this incredibly close race, and thousands of votes in Pueblo County and from military and overseas voters remain, and a considerable number of curable ballots remain as well, he said. Help us gather the resources to see this through. The GOP hope to gain majority in both the House and Senate, though neither party has claimed victory in either congressional chamber. While Republicans are inching closer to gaining the majority in the House, there are still 32 House seats left at play as tabulators continue to count election results across the county. Districts in Alaska, California, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Colorado, New York, and Maine are still counting ballots. And we know we have some of those in, like New York, I think some in Maine, and etc. have been counted, and we have those winners there. So it looks like that at least by a slim margin, Republicans are going to take the House, and it could be kind of razor thin when it comes to the Senate. So we're going to have to see how these last couple play out. So we're going to do one here, and then we're going to finish off with Trump. A top Democrat torches AOC in an interview for not helping party in the midterms. The Democrats are turning on themselves too, and I love it when the jackals eat each other. Suburban voters reject her. Representative Sean Patrick Maloney, who's that CCC leader, head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, slammed Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or Occasional Cortez, in an interview with the New York Times on Thursday following his loss in this week's midterm elections. Maloney laughingly blamed the media for Democrats losing U.S. House seats throughout the deep blue New York before acknowledging that Governor Kathy Hochul hurt down the ballot Democrats. When asked about Ocasio-Cortez blaming Democrat leadership for the party losing seats in New York, Maloney responded, "The last time I ran into AOC, we were beating her endorsed candidate 2-1 in the primary, and I didn't see her 1 minute of those midterms helping our House majority." Well, of course, she's a leftist progressive nutcase who doesn't give a shit about you. So I'm not sure what kind of advice she has, but I'm sure she'll be generous with it, Maloney continued. But let's be clear, she had almost nothing to do with that, with what turned out to be an historic defense of our majority. Didn't pay $1 of dues, didn't do anything for our frontline candidates except give them money when they didn't want it from her. There are other voices who should be heard, especially when suburban voters have clearly rejected the ideas that she's the most associated with from defunding the police on down, he concluded. She's an important voice in our politics, but when it comes to passing our agenda through the Congress or standing our ground in the political battlefield, she was nowhere to be found. Ocasio-Cortez quickly responded, no doubt about that. She didn't do a fucking Twitter about it while she was doing her makeup. Guys, climate change is a bad thing. Cortez quickly responded to the interview, claiming without evidence that Maloney courted her for donations for swing district candidates. SPM courted me for donations to swing races, and it was the first thing I did this term. She claimed over $250,000 for Dems this cycle. DCCC facilitated some, and now he denies it. If he isn't aware of my visit to California and efforts we put in, that's on him. What I love about this claim is that we gave frontline members donations they didn't want. The vast majority were good with early financial support to position themselves early. B, for the few who didn't want our help or plus got it, where do you think we got the money info to give? DCCC! Exclamation mark. She claimed. As for him not seeing me, perhaps because he as a party leader chose not to see nor value prominent members of this party for years. All right, now I'm going to go do my makeup. Lastly, many moderate Dems plus leaders made it very clear that our help was not welcome nor wanted, she concluded. Oh my God, LOL. at BTY, despite our many, many offers, yet found ways to try and help from afar. So for them to blame us for respecting their approach in their districts is laughable. Take some ownership. So infighting in the Democratic Party and finger pointing happening there as well. And speaking of finger pointing, as I led on earlier in the show on the audio portion, and I've played for you here on the live stream, Trump talking shit to multiple people here, and I'm not happy to see this. Trump says he should get all the credit if GOP wins, not be blamed if they lose. Trump wants America to know that if Republicans gain control of Congress, he deserves all of the accolades, but if Democrats maintain control, find someone else to blame. Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit, Trump said in an interview with News Nation that aired Tuesday. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all, but it will probably be just the opposite. And this was in that interview that I played for you. Now, one of the other things he's come out and started talking shit about DeSantis. Let's see if I can find that story. No, it wasn't with Fox News. It was with Daily Wire, I believe, had some of that. So if Trump follows up an attack on DeSantis with a bizarre swipe at Youngkin. See, this is... I love Trump. I've supported him. And this is one of the things maybe I will agree with Shapiro on. I supported him in the 2016 election over Hillary. I thought he could really get something done. I liked what he had to say. And when he was in office for his one term, his policies were great. He did a lot for the country, started peace in the Middle East, and all of it was good things. And now his ego is getting in the way, and he's lashing because he's not the focus of all of this. He's not what we're all talking about. Because I know what he wanted, right? He wanted the kind of this red wave, and for us to come out at the end of it and go, do you know why we got this red wave? Donald Trump. That's the reason we got this red wave. This is the reason we're winning huge. And he ended up not being the focus. Some of his candidates ended up losing, getting defeated, where, you know, they should have won, but there was messaging issue and whatever bullshit, and they didn't win. And instead, all of the focus went to DeSantis. So DeSantis is the guy right now, like, the unofficial head of the Republican Party. He took a purple state and he turned it pretty much 100% red. He won huge in Democratic blue counties. Miami-Dade County. They took it huge, him and Rubio, and just crushed it in Florida. Now everyone is kind of looking in that direction and going, how can we make Florida, that model of Florida and how big we won there, and then take it to the rest of the country? How can we take that win and make it bigger and make it more? Now Trump is angry, he's lashing out, and he's attacking other Republicans, and he's turning this into infighting. We just barely got a win here, where we should have had a huge win. And now he's lashing out at anyone that he's got some sort of problem with. I don't like this. Yes, I'm a Trump fan, but the state of the country is on the line. And I'm not going to blindly follow one candidate when the state of the country is on the line. So if I have to start getting off this bandwagon, I will, because the country is more important than Trump. And I'm sorry that I have to say that. And I'm like, I know, I know you're not happy to hear that. I know you're not happy to hear that, but it's the truth. There's the support for Trump, and then there's like really saving the country and really making sure that America stays America and doesn't turn into a leftist shithole. And one candidate alone is not, it's the needs of the many in this situation outweighs the needs of the few or the one. And I'm sorry, if Trump is going to go off the rails and go on a tangent on all of these people, I can't go with that. I can't support it. And if DeSantis ends up running, that's where I'm going to end my support is going to end up is with DeSantis. I'm sorry to say that. I'm hoping this evens out and something is figured out. We do not need infighting right now at a very important time. Let the Democrats infight and eat each other. Let's not do it to ourselves. But excuse me, let's do this here. Former President Trump followed up an unprovoked attack on Florida's Ron DeSantis with a strange swipe Friday morning at another popular Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin of Virginia. In both cases, the former president, who is expected to again seek the White House in 2024, claimed credit for the success of his targets. While the attack on DeSantis was withering, the comments about Youngkin included a bizarre observation about his name and a backhanded vote of confidence. Youngkin, now that's an interesting take, sounds Chinese, doesn't it? That's so stupid. These stupid little lash out and outbursts. It's ridiculous. In Virginia, couldn't have won without me, Trump wrote on Truth Social. I endorsed him, did a very big Trump rally for him telephonically, got MAGA to vote for him, or he couldn't have come close to winning. But he knows that and admits it, besides having a hard time with the Dems in Virginia. But he'll get it done. So it's a backhanded compliment. He kind of shits on him a little bit and then ends it by saying, but he'll get it done. This is not good. And coming from me, a major Trumper person, I've got the hats, I've got the shirts, I've got all the shit. I've been with him 100%. If you've got me saying this now, this is a problem. I don't know what he needs to get the ego in check. He needs to start thinking more politically and celebrate these wins by the Republican Party. Just because they're not specifically your wins, like you personally pulled them across the finish line, just because you didn't do that doesn't mean that we can't all celebrate it and come together, because it's a win for the party and it's a win for America. And that's what I want to see, a win for America, not one candidate individually who's now going to tell me what the deal is. We need the country to win. When the country wins, we all win. A rising tide raises all ships, right? Not one fucking ship. But Election Wizard on Twitter, I follow him. I think I do. I don't know. Maybe it was someone similar. Trump goes after Governor Youngkin, saying his name sounds Chinese, and he puts the quote on that I just read to you. So Trump is expected to announce a 2024 White House bid as early as next week, with both DeSantis and Youngkin have been floated as potential primary opponents. While it is true Trump supported both in their runs for governor, neither DeSantis nor Youngkin have said they intend to run for president. It's possible Trump zeroed in on Youngkin because earlier Thursday, his popular lieutenant governor, Winsome Sears, said she would not support a Trump 2024 bid. Although she has previously been a strong supporter of Trump, she said the midterm results showed his time has passed. A true leader understands when they have become a liability, Sears said. A true leader understands that it's time to step off the stage, and the voters are giving us that very clear message. And you know what Trump's response should be to that? It should be, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that we can talk more as the rest of this term goes on, and maybe we can form a consensus or get on the same page. But I'm sorry that her feelings are what they are right now. You go behind the scenes and go, you know what? Fuck that bitch. You know, I fuck her and fucking abandoning me. Unified front for everybody. You know, there was something my mother always said to me. She said, have any of your arguments behind closed doors. Do not have them in public. Do not have an outburst at the restaurant and a back and forth in front of everybody shooting each other down. Go behind closed doors, the privacy of your own home. Have your argument and your frustration happen there. Don't let it leave the doors of your house. And he's breaking this rule right now. Instead of keeping it in his house, he's taking it directly not only to the Republican House, but to everybody else that's watching. So the Democrats are eating this up and loving the infighting right now because they see a primary run for the 2024 election between DeSantis and Trump, where they go after each other neck and neck, tear each other apart, bring each other down in front of everyone, and then DeSantis being the potential front runner there, he starts losing support because of everything that's coming out in general that Trump is using to tear him down. We need a unified front, and a strong Republican candidate, whether it's Trump or it's DeSantis, or it's Trump with DeSantis running and Trump as his vice president, which I don't, because of Trump's ego, I don't think he would ever accept. But you could have a really power ballot with something like that, Trump, DeSantis 2024, if they were on the same page and not attacking each other. But it's already starting now, and this is a bad move. Really bad move, especially with this wire-thin win that we just came out with, which it never should have been. It should have been much bigger. It scares me that we're surrounded by so many stupid people that want bad leadership with the Democrats. And they want more of it because they voted in some places for more of it, so they want more. So I finished the story here, and it's just I'm not happy. I'm not happy with Trump. One leg is off the bandwagon at this point, and I'm not doing it because I'm a fair weather fan, to be clear. I'm doing it because I love this country, and we need to take it back from radical Democrats and radical leftists. And we do that by the strongest, most unified candidates possible. The Democrats are not unified. They will blindly follow each other in votes and bills in Congress, because that's what they do. The shitbags follow the shitbags. But they're not unified. I just read you a story about AOC and Maloney, where they're attacking each other. Maloney lost. He's lashing out at the rest of them. There isn't the unification they'd like you to believe, but it's also a problem for us too. And we're seeing that now with Trump becoming angry about the whole thing because he's not front and center. And he's got to put the ego in check, take a step back and say, as a strong leader, you step back and say, this win didn't have a lot to do with me, but I'm very thankful that this win happened. It happened for the American people. It happened for this country. I'm happy to have had some part in it, and I look forward to having a larger part in the future. Play the proper political part. More of the lashing out is not getting you anything. I know we'd love to. In a perfect world, you want to be able to lash out at everyone that deserves it and give them, the kick in the pants that they deserve. And in the political realm, it doesn't work that way. So to a degree, I can speak my mind. I'm on a podcast. I'm not running for office. I can say what I like. As the candidate, you can't do that. You've got to think of a more strategic answer to this the situation that you're facing. And you instead of people saying, listen to fucking Trump running off of the mouth. Jesus Christ. You want him saying, I like what he had to say. He took some losses. He said, thank you to everyone. I'm happy about what we got. And I'm looking forward to being more of a part of it in the future and working with these people and helping them in whatever way I can, however much help they take from me or how little they take from me. I hope that I can be a part of that and have people going, I like what he had to say. I love that. That was a mature response. That was a political leader response, and that's something that I'm more open to in the future. But he didn't do that. He fucking lashed out at everyone, and it's really disappointing to me because I wanted to see the revenge tour of Trump in 24 where he got to kick all the Democrats in the ass. And now I'm like, I'm not even sure that's the best thing for the country. The revenge tour might not be the best thing. Maybe another time. If DeSantis gets his shot, he's smart, he's savvy, he comes up with the right answers, he hits the leftists and the Democrats right where he needs to, and he keeps the attacks smart and simple. He doesn't lash out with making up stupid names for people like Young Kim. Maybe he's Chinese. Come on, man. All right. That's the show, everyone. We're gonna wrap it up here. I've got to get to work. Happy Veterans Day for everybody. That's your updates for the primaries, and probably have some more info. It's probably going to wrap up later on this evening, and then we'll be talking the finalization of everything on Monday. But we will get to that. Thank you, everyone that's listening. Thank you for the new listeners that have joined us. I hope you stick with us, and we'll see you Monday. With this show is Mondays and Fridays. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and then we're live streaming on YouTube until YouTube kicks me off for being a conservative, and then we just go over to Rumble, and then I'm going to start going from there. But I'll keep everyone updated if any changes happen like that. So thanks again for all the new listeners. Please comment, give me your thoughts on some of the things that we talked about, and like the show, please. If you're on here and you're live streaming, like the show, and let's start getting it out there. Please support me and help me out. I'm just a regular middle-aged white guy just trying to get you the news and be an asshole and hopefully be entertaining. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good weekend. Happy Veterans Day, and thanks.